All right, welcome back to our Fan Connection podcast episode. Obviously, we're joined by Berta and Ponchi, as well as myself, Some Lazy Guy 09. If you're wondering where you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Twitch. On Twitch, you can find me, Some Lazy Guy 09. Everywhere else, you can find us as the Fan Connection podcast. So we look forward to interact with you guys. This is an interactive podcast, so if you tune in live every Sunday and Wednesday with us at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Some Lazy Guy 09. That's my channel because I host it. You can tune in live and ask us any question that you have, or if you want, you can direct it at us on like Twitter, YouTube comment section, anywhere. We'll get to your questions. So that's the whole point of this show, is to engage with everyone in the hockey community that we can find that wants to engage with us. That's our goal. So anyway, let's get started on today's podcast. But before we do, how was your guys', I guess, your weekends? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or I guess Sunday morning. I don't know what time it is for you guys, but how was your weekend so far?
Yeah, mine was it was just busy with school and all that. Nothing too much. I think midterms are coming up, so you know how that is. Then probably the highlight of my weekend, but it wasn't even my weekend. It was Thursday. Was the one chip thing. That was it was fun but painful, man. I saw people saying, I went back to go watch the VOD, and I saw people saying like, it's not that bad, man. Come on, dude. If I want whoever said that to go and try it and just send it to me. Just send me like their reaction, because it was ridiculous, man. I don't think I did a good job explaining how hot it was, like on the scale of hotness. But it's like hotter than a ghost pepper. I think most people know what a ghost pepper is, but it's like a million times hotter than that, apparently. So yeah, it was bad. That was the highlight, though. How about you, Punch?
No, I was bartending, but I had like the party I bartended for, they were fantastic. Lovely,
Oh
lovely
yeah.
people. And I went to the gym. I did all the stuff I need to do to get ready for the week. So it was pretty relaxing.
Awesome, yeah, good to hear. My weekend was pretty relaxing too. As you guys know, I work a full-time job during the weekdays, so I work 40 hours a week, Monday through Friday. So Friday night, Saturday, and I guess Sunday morning, I like to just relax. I didn't really do much. Actually, like yesterday I did my workout, today I did my workout, but Thursday and Friday I didn't. I just kind of took some time to relax, let my body heal a little bit. I was riding on like 5.5 hours of sleep both nights, couldn't sleep, so but I feel rested now and ready to go. Last Wednesday's podcast, I was very tired, but today I feel good, rested, ready to go. So I'm excited for today's podcast. It's a bit more of a relaxing podcast on Sundays, a bit more serious than the ones on Wednesdays, but I'm excited for it nonetheless. And our first topic is a fun one. It's the All-Star weekend. So guys, what were your highlights for the All-Star weekend? What was your favorite event? For me personally, I think it was none of the above. And actually, no, it's not true. My favorite event was seeing the TikTok of Stamkos and his son. He's like, I just want to see the Zamboni driver. Take me this out. Like, that was my favorite part. Someone was so cute. I think Carter Stamkos was his name. My girlfriend was showing me that. Liv was showing me that. It was so cute. It was so funny. So that's probably one of my highlights. Other than that, though, it was pretty, like, I'm sorry, like, their marketing for the All-Star weekend sucked. Like, did you guys see their YouTube videos? Did you guys get a glance at the YouTube videos? Yeah, the ones they posted on YouTube from the NHL, like the
Not
highlights.
really. No, I didn't see the highlights. I was watching it though on TV, but
They muted, actually, and the Zegras goal is my favorite part too. But they muted the audio, like they didn't use the original audio. They just had a song playing over it. So all I heard was this random song in the background, copyright free, whatever, playing over all the clips from the All-Star game. So I couldn't hear what Zegras was saying.
Okay.
I couldn't hear what Hughes was saying. All I was seeing was people talking, and like they'd show the interviews. I'm like, what's the point of showing the interview?
yeah,
And and the recording was 720p. It wasn't even 1080. Like,
so silly.
we have a higher quality
Yeah.
upload from our stream, and I'm some random guy from Montreal who's using his own computer compared to the NHL. Just think about that for a second. So I keep talking about their marketing and how bad it is, and it just continues to do it. The rest of it was cool. Like the concepts and everything was cool. Like I don't want to bash it because like, it was still it seemed like it was fun, but their ability of drawing in people who couldn't tune in live. Like I couldn't tune in live on Friday. I was busy on Friday, but I wanted to watch the event, so I'm like, okay, I'll go on the YouTube and catch what happened, the aftermath and the highlight. Nothing. It was terrible. It was boring. I couldn't watch the whole video. I turned it off.
Well, I was gonna say a couple things that you mentioned. I also agree with. Like number one, the Zegras thing has to be the highlight. I think for sure for probably a lot of people. That actually might be one of the best like breakaway shootout challenge goals I've ever seen. I think.
It was blindfolded.
The blind, like the whole thing, man. Like I love Dodgeball, like the movie. I love that movie, right? I'll watch it all the time. So that was already like super fun and creative because you don't see a lot of creativity that much anymore, right? And we always talk about people being creative and wanting to get their name out there. Zegras did that for sure. Zegras, Hughes, and Kaprizov all did a great job with that. And
Petrangelo was just.
I didn't like Petrangelo's at all.
He missed. He didn't even score, and he
was so silly. But yeah, Zegras' thing was insane. There's one angle of like I think it was behind the net, and you see there's two balls going. Like he's dodging both of them, and he has the puck on his stick with like the one hand. He hasn't shot yet, but it just looks so cool. And that's like that could be a poster right there, honestly. So I love that. I can't believe I don't think a lot of people understand this, but like the guy who was in net was Anders Kane from Goon 2. I don't know if you guys know who ever watched that movie.
Didn't he use an NHL goalie for the thing?
No, and people who haven't seen that, you might know him from the new TV show Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like the Marvel show. He's Captain America, like literally like the new Captain America.
Oh, it's that guy?
Oh
my gosh. I love that guy.
They didn't do a good job of explaining who it was, but that's who was in net. So I found that super hilarious. I'm like, John Walker's in net? What the hell?
Why didn't they show that? I didn't know that.
They said it and they just assumed you were supposed to know the actor's name. Like, okay, I knew the actor's name. I'm a big movie guy, right? But I don't think it was like they should have shown him on screen or something like what he is. Like, if they showed him with the Captain America suit, that would have been sick. But yeah, I thought that was cool. But, and like you said, some of the events, I think they were cool ideas. Like, I really like the 21 idea, but the execution wasn't there, man. Like, for one, it was so quiet outside that it was so awkward. Like, the whole thing was awkward. It was just, there was no crowd, nothing when they're doing the little targets thing, and then also the 21 event. It was a little awkward. I don't think they wanted to be there, man. Like, me and my friends were theorizing about it because there was Stamkos and Pavelski in the finals in that 21 event. And, we think Stamkos missed on purpose, man. I think that was a little bit too. I think that thing was too easy for them. Like the target thing, they all hit 21 right away, and then randomly Stamkos like it's too cold out here, and then he missed his shot. So it's like okay, he's like he wanted to get out of there.
He wanted to go party with his friends or go home to his son and hang out. Yep, I don't blame him. Oh, bad.
How about you, Punch? What did you think?
I think. Like Machine Gun, I was surprised they took Machine Gun Kelly as the performer. I thought they were gonna do like Panic at the Disco because that made sense because their Vegas Lights is written by Panic at the Disco. That's their goal horn, and they're a Vegas band. They're from Vegas. Yeah. I feel like people sandbagged Machine Gun Kelly just a
lot of people were hating on him. They're like, oh, who's the girl next to McDavid or something? I was like, yo, guys, come on. That was a little much. I didn't like seeing stuff like that.
I think he's actually really good. Like
I don't listen to his music, but like, come on, man. Like I don't have any hate against him or anything like that. It's just people were a little weird with that.
Just some interesting stuff going on. Him and Megan Fox, because he's dating Megan Fox, right? And
they're engaged now.
They're engaged now.
Yeah, they've got their interviews are kind of interesting. I've seen a few of their interviews. It's a little makes me uncomfortable. But Spider-Man from Naruto, welcome to the stream. How's it going?
I think it's funny though.
But yeah, it makes me uncomfortable seeing that. And Spider-Man from Naruto brings up a good point. Sorry, just quickly. He says, "Who's the girl next to McDavid?" And then someone was saying, "Oh, Leon Draisaitl." Like I saw another post saying, "Oh, Leon Draisaitl had a little bit too much to drink" or something like that. It was weird.
My favorite.
It was weird.
There's another picture that came out of, I don't know if it was through Calgary or through Edmonton, but McDavid and Johnny Gaudreau had their stalls next to each other, and all you see is each of them like sitting like this away from each other, just not acknowledging. So I just thought that was funny too. But yeah, no, that's my All-Star thoughts.
Yeah, it was underwhelming at best, I think. And you look at the games, like you know how they play like the Atlantic versus the Metro or this versus that. I think like you can tell the players just don't care. Like I'm sorry, I'm watching the games and it's just like, okay, oh here's a pass, oh here's a pass, oh we missed, oh well, you know what I mean? Like they don't care, like they don't want to score, and like I don't blame them. It might be kind of tough, and like it almost feels like it's cooler to not care. That's the vibe I was getting from the game. Like oh you don't fit into with the rest of the guys on the ice if you care too much and you try. You know what I mean? Like something was like cool to not care, which is not a really good example to set. That's what I didn't really enjoy. But Kev Player, welcome to the chat, saying favorite All-Star moment was when the NHL wouldn't let McDavid shoot during the goalie save contest. Yeah, yeah.
That was. They should just let him shoot, man. I think the reason why is that it was a goalie streak save thing or save streak, and they let a goal in at the last one, so they couldn't continue. But he didn't get a chance to shoot, so yeah, we didn't see McDavid in the shootout at all. That was. I mean, come on, man. Like, why you gotta be so strict on it? Just let him shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, Spidermanfromnarruto brings up a good point. The skills competition is always fun to watch. Yeah, you see some new faces like Kairu in the skating, and like you see like Zegras do his thing on the shootout, like we were talking about before. Like that, I love. Like I love that aspect of it, and I wish they'd have almost like an All-Star game for rookies, like a rookie All-Star game. I know the NBA does that a little bit too, right? They have a rookie All-Star.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to see that because the rookies are the ones who want to make a name for themselves and really show. Like Zegras and Hughes, like they had like a fun thing in the shootout. Like they were really trying their best. Kaprizov is still considered young. Like I'm not saying they're rookies, but they're younger, so they're still trying to make a name for themselves in a brand. Whereas like guys like Stamkos was fun. Like other guys who are like older, even Ovechkin didn't want to go. Like from the beginning, like the older players don't like it. They they clearly don't want to be there. So like Ovechkin saying like I mean maybe it's COVID, who knows? But like every year there's always a reason he doesn't go to the All-Star game. Always. And from the get-go shows that in the National Hockey League, the NHL players themselves, the ones who've been there a while, do not want to go to the All-Star game because it's not fun. So you got to find a way to make it fun for the players.
What do you think? Oh, I was thinking like these younger players like Zegras and Kaprizov and Hughes. They are obviously having so much fun with it. What if we're just getting more personality coming into the league, opposed to like actually I don't know, man, because Ovechkin was very fun when he was there as a rookie. So I don't know, maybe it wears off on them, or maybe we're getting more personality in the league. It's one or the other. But do you guys remember like way back when those guys were rookies and how much fun they were having with like commercials, and at the All-Star game it was always fun. But the commercials in general was so fun to, like they're all classics. Like like the hotel one's a classic. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
A little bit, yeah.
And then the bellhop.
What's that?
The one where like they're in the luggage cart and
yeah. Those are so fun to watch, man. It looked like I don't know if it's like them as rookies coming in just have more fun being in the league, or if it's literally just like that was something they're forced to do or something like that. Like I don't know, because it seems like the rookies right now are having fun and trying to be innovative and change stuff around. So
yeah.
I mean, we'll see. But that was my only highlight. Those three players back to back, like Kaprizov. I was like, wow, that's actually so sick. He put out the Ovechkin jersey. That's so cool. He did the Gatorade thing, and then he even did the hot stick celebration. Like, that's great.
Yeah.
And then you know what though? I actually didn't catch. So was that just a Hughes fan, or that wasn't another Hughes brother, right? Like the guy in the box. The kid?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
it'd be cool if it was.
It was fun.
I don't know if there's 4 Hughes brothers. I know the third one's on the New Jersey as well, but. Yeah, that one was fun though. Anyway, yeah. Regardless.
Yeah, I enjoyed those, but even then it was hard for me because I didn't get to see that part live. So like I said, it got so dragged down. Also, like I know they had who was the band playing during that event? Like it's a pretty well known band. Who was the band? I think the reason the NHL didn't play the live audio is because that band was playing. And the NHL was scared that it'd get copyrighted by the band's label. But it's like, if you have a band playing at your live event, and you're recording that live event on TV, why would you not be able to have the rights to your recording of that live event's audio? Like you're paying them to be there and play, so why are you not allowed to then post it on YouTube? That's part that didn't make sense to me. So like I'm trying to watch this really fun event, and it's clearly looked really fun. But all I'm hearing is the same dun 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 dun, like same freaking background song. I feel like I'm in like a commercial or something, and it lasts so long. Anyway. I just wish they did that better. Kev Blair says only the NHL can mess up an All-Star weekend. I don't necessarily know that's true. Because I think a lot of All-Star weekends and a lot of big leagues here, a lot of them get trashed. Like a lot of people.
I think
don't
a lot
like
of them it goes stale for a little bit because even the Pro Bowl, like the Pro Bowl was cool for a little bit, and then they had to keep changing it up because, like there was times where I just didn't feel like watching the Pro Bowl or even like the
I never
NBA
watched the
like
Pro
All-Star.
Bowl.
Even the
I
NBA,
yeah.
yeah.
No,
Even
I
the
was,
NBA All-Star. Oh, sorry,
sorry,
bro.
Punch. I've cut you off like a bunch of times already. But you finish what you're saying. I'll go on.
Yeah. So even like the NBA like All-Star weekend, like up until like the 2 years ago with Kobe's after Kobe passed when they changed the game format, that was really good. But up until then, it was really it was kind of stale because nobody played defense, nobody cared because it didn't mean anything. Even like the dunk contests, you can only dunk the ball so creatively every year.
Yep.
So I think it just got, and I think that happens with the MLB too. Everything just got stale, and I think right now they're just trying to revise the format because even before them, they have to change. They have to change all the time, or else it just keeps going.
Right. I agree. You do need to keep changing and stuff and adapting, because otherwise it does get stale for no matter not even about the All-Star game, just things in general, right? You don't wanna become a stale whatever you're trying to achieve. But what I will say though is maybe the NHL should do this, because I do know the NBA All-Star games, they like the actual games, they do try a little bit harder, especially near the end of the games, because the money is for their charities if they win. So if the NHL did that, I feel like they would probably try a little bit harder. But it's what is it? It's like I don't even remember what the prize was for them, to be honest. I don't know
For
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 NHL.
NHLers, it's
Yeah.
a million split, however many the team
Okay.
is.
And it's just like how many people are on the team. I mean they're gonna make a lot anyway. I don't know,
It's
man.
still like
It's
money.
still a lot. It's still money, right? But like, I think if it was for charity, they might do or care a little bit more. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Like
Um,
I think if
yeah.
you made another incentive other than just for the fans and as an event, I think the NHL players would be a lot more inclined to do their best in the games. Welcome to the chat. First time chatter from our viewer, It's Chells123. It's Chells. This is an interactive podcast where myself, some lazy guy, Bertaman, and Ponchi interact with you, the chat, and the fan connection community, and we do our best to get our points across and just have a fun chat about hockey. Like anything we want to talk about. Not even necessarily hockey, like anything really. Any questions that you guys have, you can ask. I mean, to a certain extent, not too far, like nothing weird, but just like fun, like stuff like about hockey, maybe like games or whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of the point of this podcast. Just be interactive, have a good time with everyone in the chat. But anyway, I think we should move on from the All-Star game. I feel like we're getting too negative here. Let's talk about some weird NHL stats. I think Ponch, you pulled up quite a few NHL stats. I'm just gonna kind of react to them. Berta as well. I don't know if you have many as well, Berta, but Ponchi, I know you had a few, so I'll let you start.
Yeah. So did you know the fastest goal scored in an NHL final or a Stanley Cup final was in a game that doesn't exist?
Say it again.
So the fastest goal scored in a Stanley Cup final was in a game that doesn't exist.
What the hell? How does? Okay, explain.
Okay. This is a really funny story. So back in like the Oilers dynasty, the Oilers played the Bruins. So they're in game 3 of the Stanley Cup finals when all of a sudden the ice gets super foggy. So it's a 3-3 game and they go, we can't play, and then we've got to like axe the game. But at that point, what happened was they had this weird system where they would DNP that game or DNC, whatever it is, and then they'd play the fourth game. And then they'd come back to the third game if it was needed. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
are you
kinda
guys
crazy.
following? It's a really weird. It's
So
a
they,
really weird.
so they started game 3. They scored one of the fastest goals ever, but then throughout the game they had to stop the game because the weather was bad. So they played game
Mhm.
4, but never needed the game 3. So that game technically never existed.
Yeah,
correct?
exactly.
What the hell is that?
Wait, when
That's
was
so
this?
dumb. Oh
This
my
was
god! Imagine game 3 is actually
Bruins
game
Oilers.
7. That'd be kind of
Bruins
crazy.
Oilers?
So, funny enough, if for some reason that they were 3-3, which they weren't, luckily, so they would have had to play 8 total games because they would have continued from where game 3 or whatever had ended or had stopped.
What?
So you would have played game 4, game 5, and if it was tied up, you'd have to. Oh, you'd play game 7 still. Oh no, sorry. So you play game 4,
So game
game
3
5,
doesn't
game
count,
6,
right? Let's
game
say-
7.
Yeah, you'd go to games. You'd finish game 7, and you could finish at a
And then
3-3
go
tie,
back.
and then play game 3 to see who gets the 4th win. That's how it works. You still play 7 games
Yeah.
technically, but game 7 would not actually be game 7, the deciding game.
7.
It'd be game 7,
Game-
the game to see if they can tie the series. Game 3 would be the series deciding game, which is just
Yeah.
weird to
But
wrap
then
your
at
head
that
around.
point, that's 8 games. You've played 8 games.
Right, because game 3 would be split up into 2 different games. Correct? One that didn't exist, and that got postponed. And then the
one
one
that
does.
got continued.
It's freaking
That's so
or
odd.
It's like 7.5 games. It's like game 3.5. That's
Yeah,
bizarre,
that's so
man.
weird.
But
Only
then,
NHL.
what do you do if it wasn't a 3-3 game?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right, if one team was winning, do you start the game off 1-0? Like, or
Mhm.
whatever the differential
Or do
was?
you
I
just
mean, I
play
think
it
you just go
over
from
again?
where you were. Right?
That's what I would have thought too. That's what I would have thought.
That's what I
But,
would have done.
You know.
Like, let's say it was
Anyways.
4-2 going into the third period. You know what I mean?
Cheese
Yeah, yo,
Whiz's
Cheese-
brains.
I don't blame
It's
Cheese Whiz,
fine.
man. I come here for hockey, not for my brain to hurt. What the heck? I don't blame you, Cheese Whiz. I feel like I'm getting a headache now, or a migraine.
That's okay.
So thank you, Ponchi. I appreciate
okay.
that.
So another one is, did you guys know Ron Hexdall has the most penalty minutes by a goalie at 112?
I actually didn't know that. Yeah.
That does make a lot of sense. I didn't necessarily
Yeah.
know that, but if I had to guess which goalie had the most penalty minutes, he'd probably be up there. The amount of times he's
That would
fought
be
people.
like Brodeur. Brodeur or Billy
don't-
Smith.
I don't know. Like Ron Hextall's known for like slashing people and fighting people, so
Mm,
I definitely
Alright.
yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
All right, here's my last weird stat. So Shane Doan scored his first Hattie with 0.1 left in a game. If he didn't score, he would be the all-time leader in 2-point games without a Hattie.
That's kind of cool. Poor Shane Doan, man. He spent his whole
Yeah.
career in Phoenix. Like, I mean, he seemed happy, but still, like, don't you ever think what could have been if he went for a team that, like, you know, could go far,
yeah.
Yeah.
win a cup, maybe? Could be nice. Could be nice.
Mhm. All right,
I like
let's
Shane
move on
Doan,
to our
man. I
favorite.
feel bad.
I feel like he gets sandbagged a lot. Or he gets kind of like swept under the rug because people forget about him.
Yep.
You know
That's
what? That
true.
being said, talking about 2 points, do you guys ever notice that Matthews scores so many 2-goal games? Like he'll never get that. Like it's so rare he gets a hat trick. Every time I have him on fantasy, this guy's on like 2 goals in the beginning of the game and then doesn't score the rest of the game every single time. I'm curious to see where this guy's ranking in 2-goal games because it's happened so many times. It's not even one. He won't even score one. It's 2 goals and an assist or 2 goals and nothing. Like just constantly.
Could it
I don't
be
know if you
like
guys noticed that.
throughout the game, like as
He
he
had a hat
scores,
trick.
he kind of gets not necessarily complacent, but more defensive focused, so he doesn't really care about getting the
Maybe.
goal.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
the Leafs don't really
Yeah.
struggle with scoring; it's more
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
defensively. So I think
Yeah.
Matthews has come such a long way in his defensive game compared to when he first started in the league. Like, I look at Matthews, and he's such a good player, like such an all-around threat.
Mm-hmm.
As a fan of a team in the same division as Toronto, every time we match up against Toronto, he's the guy you look at. Like, Marner scares me offensively at times, but especially in the playoffs, Marner didn't scare me too much. Like, Marner scared me with who he could pass to, never what he'd shoot. Whereas this year's a bit different. He's a bit more dynamic, but he's been working on his shot. Matthews always scares me because not only can he pass really well, he can shoot really well, and now he can defend well. So you throw those three in together. He's got a big body, he can hit too. Like, he's a really good player. Like, he contends for like one of the top players in the league in my books for sure.
I still like him more than Draisaitl. I think he's better than Draisaitl in my opinion. Even though Draisaitl has these awards, I would take him over Dry for sure.
I think I would too. More dynamic.
Yeah.
Although Draisaitl, when he gets the spotlight without McDavid, he's pretty unreal. When it's just him.
He's only had like 7 games without McDavid.
No, there was a streak where McDavid was out for like 20 games and Draisaitl put up like 30 points. I know.
That was not it. It was 7 games.
No, there was a 16-game streak at one point. Remember when McDavid broke his collarbone?
I know.
He was out for a while. Draisaitl played really well.
In 2016?
But it wasn't even just then. Like, it was after that too. At one point, McDavid was out for like maybe 10 games or 16 days it was. I don't know. But Draisaitl put up a lot of points. So I think I still take Matthews just because I think Matthews is really good. And I think he has a better defensive game than Draisaitl does, to be honest with you. I don't think Draisaitl's defensive game is that strong. But yeah, I'd take Matthews as well. And Spidermanfromnarruto chiming in here. Marner is a pass first mentality. He gets in his own head come playoff time. Exactly. Marner fan since London Knights, he was different there. I mean, I think also in the are they the WHL or OHL? OHL, right? The London Knights, especially when you play in the OHL for a guy like Marner, who's so skilled, he can get away with his shot. But when you get to the NHL, the shot, like, it's like another level. Like, I hear players talk about it all the time. Like, you can have a great goal scorer in the WHL or CHL. Well, the CHL encompasses the WHL, but you get what I'm saying, like the minor leagues. But that next step never happens because their shot's good and it's accurate, but it's not good enough for the NHL because it takes that extra leap to develop that shot. So Marner had a great shot for a WHL player, but compared to the rest of the NHL, he's kind of more of an average shooter, right? So his passing is still excellent.
I wouldn't even say average. He's exceptional. Mitch Marner is still like top tier talent in the league. He's just had no playoff success.
Oh, I'm not saying he's average in terms of skill. I think he's one of the best playmakers in the league. By far, he's one of the best playmakers in the league, hands down. He had like 60 assists one year, or maybe more. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying Marner's shot, compared to a lot of other NHLers, is nothing to necessarily write home about. His playmaking skills, on the other hand, are insane. His hands is dangling. Everything else, like, he's great. Even his defensive game is not that bad. I know people hate on him a bit, but I think for a winger, he's got a pretty solid defensive game as well. I look at Mitch Marner, though, but his shot, like, it doesn't compare to the likes of maybe like Toffoli or Hoffman. He doesn't stand out from those guys. You know what I mean? Who are seen as shooters. Marner's shot is definitely getting better, but like, if you want to go to compare Marner to a superstar shooter like I don't know, Kucherov or Matthews, like, there's a big step there. So I'm just saying, like, when I see someone in the playoffs like Marner, I'm not as worried when we have a goalie like Carey Price in nets as, say, Matthews, because Matthews is capable of beating Price in a one-on-one. I guarantee you, I've seen it. He can beat Price with a shot. Is it hard? Yes, because Price is a great goalie. But players like Marner, I know he has to pass to beat Price unless he gets a one-timer, and even then, Price can save it. So that's what I'm seeing. Hey, Missy Mac with a follow. I think Missy Mac was already following, but he followed you. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. But anyway,
I was gonna say about Marner though, real quick. Like, I think that's why the whole argument or the anger where it all comes from Leafs fans with Marner, because he makes a lot of money and other stars that you named make similar money or less, and they have a better shot, and their playmaking isn't that, like, Marner's playmaking is very, very good, of course, but it's not like other players' playmaking is not that much worse, right? Like, you still get good playmaking, but better scoring. And I think people value that, or would value that more. Like I remember when Rantanen's contract, I think Rantanen and Marner are in the same contract year, or a couple, I don't know,
Mhm.
maybe it was like a year apart or something like that. People were comparing that, the two players. I would take Rantanen, dude. This guy, like, he does get injured, but his pace or his rate is always at 90 points. His scoring rate's always at 40 goals. He's a really, really good
Mhm.
player, man. Even with McKinnon out and Landeskog out, he's still producing a lot, and he makes less. So I think that's where a lot of the anger comes from. Like, you are right, his shot's getting better, but yeah, it's still not 11 million. You know,
Mhm.
I get it. I get that he's really good at playmaking, but there's so many other good players as well that are really good at playmaking and can score as well, and they make a little bit less too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's where the market difference. That's where the league isn't fair. It's not a fair league. The NHL is
Mhm.
not a fair league. That's the difference between taxes at this point. It has nothing to do with the players.
Mhm.
Marner in any other market gets paid less, and the reason for that is because if you look at Toronto, you look at teams like Montreal, and I don't know how the taxes are in Vancouver, but I'm assuming they're pretty high because they're in Canada. Um, all I have to say is like if you're in Canada, the taxes are really high. We're a very social country in terms of our our national party. I'm not going to say much more about politics. Don't worry, but that just doesn't mean we have a higher tax rate than say Florida or I guess well Tampa Bay is Florida, but you know what I mean. Like
Mm.
Florida, like states like Florida who have lower taxes, if any. So especially on income, I don't think they have any income tax. So players like Barkov and Huberto will get paid $7-ish million a season in Florida. But say
But
Huberto
keep it
played for
all.
the Canadians with that same production would get paid 10 to 11. Same thing with on Toronto. They get paid 10 to 11 because of the tax. Like there is also other
Mhm.
factors like NHL players don't actually get the salary you see them. I think on Steve Dangle podcast they had a show with the guy who's like a big financial dude for a lot of NHL players and managing their money. And he was saying like they only get like 30 to 40-ish% of the contract that they sign. So
Mhm.
you see like let's say you see a $7 million contract, they probably only make actual money that they pocket is about 3 million. So you look at a contract like Marner's, okay, or let's say Price, 11.5 million a year or 10.5 million a year for Price, right? Well, 50% of that goes to the government, both provincial and federal, for taxes. And then after that, you take into the escrow factor for the NHL. There's another factor as well. I don't know what it's called. I don't remember, but there's another factor they take into account as well. And then they get their money. And then they have to pay their agents, to pay this, and then there's the money. So you look at the contracts for Marner and Matthews, any other team they sign with, although Matthews deserves his money, I think, hands down. But Marner signs with any other team, it's probably around an $8 to $9 million deal. And it's not as bad.
Agreed.
I
I
think
went on a
though,
rant
like,
there, but
no, that's okay. But also in the context of when they signed that contract, he came off a 94-point season, and the thought was Mitch thought he was gonna produce more. The Maple Leafs thought he was gonna produce more. So it at the time it made sense because same with the Eric Carlson deal. We assume that the cap's gonna go up. So 11 mil now becomes 8 mil. So nobody could have saw COVID coming. And I know like 11 mil looks like a lot now, but the cap is gonna go up.
It was
Because
still
he
a lot
signed,
then though, dude. Like I still think it was like
yeah.
I think part of the reason is Dubas said he can and he will sign Marner, Tavares, Matthews.
Mhm.
And he
oh,
just
you didn't hide his
did.
cards at all. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
And he just
then
yeah.
you
Go
also
on, Punch.
can't. He's also your first round draft pick from 6 years, as well as 3 years ago at the signing of that contract. So are you gonna lose him for picks? Probably not, because he's shown he's a playmaker and he knows what he's doing. You just had the unfortunate circumstances of the last 2 years that he's only put up 67 points, 65 points in a 55 or in a 55 game season. So, and it sucks that you're not progressing, but he's still a great player, and but you have to factor in that they thought the cap was going to go up. He produced really well, and you're not going to lose him for picks. He's not going to be worth he's not worth 3 first-round picks. He's worth much, much more than that. So, I think that was the thought in Dubas's,
Yeah. The cap going up was
signing
definitely
him
a factor.
yeah. So I think it just makes sense.
Yeah, I see in chat too. We're getting some good discussions in chat, which I really love from Kev Player and Spider-Man. So, I have a good question from Spider-Man to ask you guys. But before we do that, Kev Player and I were talking about in chat an adjusted salary cap rather than the fixed hard cap that they have, right? So if you go over the money, you can't. Well, you just can't go over the money, right? You can't go over the limit. So Kev Player was suggesting a soft cap. I know we've talked about this in the past, but Kev Player is suggesting a soft cap where if you go over, you should have to pay extra, right, to the league, which is kind of interesting. But that just kind of rewards the high-end teams. Like that doesn't allow teams like Arizona, Ottawa, like those teams that don't spend the cap, doesn't allow them to be successful in a cap era, because that just basically removes the cap for teams like Toronto and Montreal who are willing to spend all the money in the world, right? And New York Rangers as well. So I'm thinking this: what if they had a tax adjusted salary cap? So the salary cap is adjusted to the income tax. That way teams that don't have, so example, right? I know I'm throwing Florida's name in a lot, and I've thrown Florida a lot because they have two very good teams, and I think it works really well what they've done in Florida. So I'm using them as an example here. So as in Tampa Bay Lightning and Florida Panthers. So I think Florida has a no income tax state. I think that's what it is, right? It's a no income tax state. And there's a few of those in the United States. And I think the NHL's been really targeting those for its teams because they really like that. So anyway, so for example, Florida and Tampa Bay, they're in a zero income tax. So their salary cap doesn't get adjusted. They'd still be at the 84 or whatever, 83 and whatever it is million. But let's say Montreal, right? Let's say Montreal's tax rate is for a player making that salary is about 50-something%, right? So what if you adjusted the cap by that 50%? So I'm not saying you would increase it times it by 1.5, because then the Canadians have a $120 million cap hit compared to the 83 in Tampa Bay. That's kind of unfair. But I'm thinking maybe you do half the tax rate. So let's say the income tax rate total for federal government added up for a player and playing the Montreal Canadiens is 55%. You would give them 1.225 times the salary space, so 22.5% more. So half the tax bracket. That way it allows them to pay their players the different, so let's say Carey Price was worth $8 million net salary, right? It would allow the Montreal Canadiens to sign him to the $10.5 million they did and still get their money's worth as if he signed for $8 million in Florida. That's my thinking for it. And that way players can't take advantage and have a million depth players at $2 million. Because if I increase it by 1.5 times, it's $120-something million cap hit, and the Canadiens are just signing a bunch of guys left, right, and center, have the deepest team in the league. That's not really fair. But it allows them to sign the higher end players at the same theoretical rate, but it's still more money. Does that make sense?
It does, but okay. So when players actually get paid, are they getting paid by the owner? Does the money come out of the pocket of the owners?
Yeah.
Maybe it's something about that then, because I know the owners have to collectively agree on the cap going up or whatever it is. I know there's stuff like that goes on, so that could be a reason why. Because if you're talking about how another team will have a little bit more cap space than another, then that owner is gonna have to pay more than other owners will on their players. That could be a reason why. I don't know exactly, because what you're saying sounds so sound and easy to do and easy fix, and it's just I don't know why they would not have done it. So that could be a reason why they haven't done it. Maybe just theorizing though. I don't know.
Yeah, because maybe that would raise the minimum salary too high for certain teams. So maybe the minimum salary cap wouldn't be adjusted, but just the max, right?
Yeah.
Well, I also like the idea of the luxury tax.
Right.
So as soon as you go over, you're taxed. I don't know what the NBA does. I think it's a good 20%. You're taxed 20% over the salary cap. So yeah, I feel like that'd be a good solution too, because you have the choice to spend over, and there's a little bit of a penalty for it. But if you're But if you're Tampa Bay and you need Barkley Goodrow to score you that game-winning goal, and you just can't afford him right now, would you be willing to spend an extra 20% to sign him? Maybe.
That's true.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's what Kev Player was talking about too, like the soft cap. I think that's what he was talking about as well in the chat.
Mhm.
I think you just get to the like that's what I'm talking about. Like, you get to the risk of like the higher end teams, or not the higher end teams. That's not the way I want to look at it. That's, all teams are created equally, right? But the teams with the wealthier
No.
owners, you're
Yeah.
risking them just spending all the money in the world just to have the best team. Like, you see Stamkos, Crosby, McDavid, like all on the same. Maybe not those guys, but a lot of free agents on the same team, and that's the risk that you run with I think with the soft cap. Although I know a lot of owners in the NHL are very worrisome about spending their money nowadays, so maybe you wouldn't run into that problem. But Spiderman from Naruto rescinded their previous question and asked what they believe is a better question. So Spiderman from Naruto in our chat asks, pick 3 players, 1 from each division. There's 4 divisions, so we'll pick 4 players to make a starting lineup. So what we're gonna do is a forward, 2 forwards, a defenseman, and a goalie. Okay.
Yeah.
So I changed this question a little bit because there's 4 divisions. We'll do that. So just quickly, if you guys want to, and chat, obviously let it be know what your picks are. Let us know who you guys pick. Ponchi, I'll let you start with your picks, and then Berta, you can go next, and then I'll give my picks in last. Although maybe I can come up with mine on the spot here off the top of my head. I'm thinking my goalie.
Let's go different players.
Pardon?
No repeat players, right?
Yeah, no repeat players.
Yeah.
So I'll go quickly here. My goalie, hands down, is going to be Vasilevsky. He's the best goalie in the league, so I'm going to steal that right off the bat. So that's the player from the Atlantic Division taken, right? I think that's the best player I could have gotten. Defenseman, I'm going to go. This is a little bit off the board here. I'm going to go Zach Werenski. I was talking about him in chat. I really love Zach Werenski's game, so I'm going to take him out of the Metro. Oh shit, I just passed on Crosby. Out of the Central, I'm going to take Nathan McKinnon. I think he's one of the best, most dynamic centers in the league. I'd take him over McDavid. I don't care. I'm taking Nathan McKinnon. Then my other forward, I have to take out the Pacific, right? Does that have McDavid in it?
Yeah.
Damn. Screw it. I'm gonna take.
We should have done a draft.
I'm gonna take.
We should have done one at a time.
I'm not taking McDavid. Don't worry. I'm taking someone different. I want to be a bit more creative in that sense. I'm gonna take Trevor Zegras. So I'm Zegras, McKinnon, Werenski, Vasilevsky. I feel like that I didn't steal too many of your player options there. I think you guys have a good option pool available, but that's my team. Let me know, chat, what you guys think. I'll make a poll so you can vote on our teams, and I'll write down the names. But those are mine. If that's okay. Hopefully, I didn't just fleece you guys.
Yeah.
Mine's super easy, man. You missed out McDavid. I'm taking McDavid, man. McDavid, Makar, Demko, and I would probably take Matthews, put him on the wing.
Okay. I'd go Markstrom. I'd take Ovi. I've got the teams written out in front of me, but I can't remember who's in what because I've got them written out in East-West. From Colorado, I'll take McKinnon. And what division am I missing?
I already took Nathan McKinnon.
McKinnon.
I took McKinnon.
Who was your goalie again, Berto? Who's your goalie?
Demko. Cheese was took it though. Cheese was, come on, man. I'll go Spencer Martin.
I'm letting you keep Demko. I'm letting you keep Demko because they had to vote between the 3 of us. So don't worry, I'll let you keep Demko. Ooh, Cheese Whiz picking Kyle Connor, Matthews, John Carlson, and Thatcher Demko. I completely forgot about the Jets. Damn, I could have taken like Ehlers or something. Yeah, if I had to switch Zegras, I'd switch Zegras for Ehlers. I think that'd be a good switch.
Oh, I'll take
I didn't take Laine. Laine would have been good with McKinnon, but I'm happy with my team. Happy with my team.
So I'll take Patrick Kane instead of McKinnon. So I've got Markstrom, Ovi, Kane. Which division am I missing?
Yeah, Markstrom, Ovi, Kane, and who? Okay, Markstrom, Ovi, Kane.
You're missing the Atlantic.
Atlantic, yeah.
Come on, you're some of the best teams are there. What are you doing?
Do I want to take a face-off legend?
Who's your team so far?
Or do I... I'll take Braden Point. Braden Point's my center.
So you have Point and who? Who's your team?
Point, Ov, Kane, Markstrom.
You don't have a defenseman, dude.
Oh, I don't have a defenseman?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's okay.
defense.
It's the All-Star game.
Use.
All right, Kane's on defense. That's fair. Okay, so that's Ponch's team. Spider from Naruto picks DeBrincat, McDavid, Ekblad, and Shesterkin. That's a pretty solid team. And he didn't pick any of the guys we took other than McDavid, so that's pretty solid. I think Kev Player had... did Kev Player make his team yet? Or make their
Right
team
there.
yet?
Last comment.
All right,
Huberto Hedman.
Huberto and Hedman
never
getting
mind,
shut
sorry.
out was shocking. Yeah, they didn't really do much, eh?
Mhm.
But Cheese Whiz picked Kyle Connor, Austin Matthews, John Carlson, Thatcher Demko. So those are the teams we saw in chat. I'll just quickly make a poll. If you guys are down, you guys can vote for who...
I'm going all offense here.
You did go all offense.
I'm going all offense.
I said
We don't-
this in our first power play, and I got roasted. Okay, I went all offense, and I did not win my poll, so I am not voting for you here, Ponch. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but like it's Jacob
Vote,
Markstrom.
vote for yourself if you want. The poll's in chat.
Well, do you know who Jacob Markstrom is? I heard he was really good until some team gave him up, and he's now leading the league in shutouts. So.
Hey, Vasilevsky
man.
is still the uncontested #1 goal in the league. Let's be honest.
Listen,
I don't know about that.
Oh, he's hands down the best. I don't care.
when Martian wins a Vesna, I will say whatever you want.
When
to say.
Vasilevsky wins the Stanley Cup with the Tampa Bay Lightning, call me.
Yeah,
I don't care about the Vezina Trophy if they win a cup.
yeah. When the
Yeah.
Calgary
Regular
Flames even
regular
do
season
anything,
things don't mean anything until you win the cup. Let's be real. Berta, you're muted right now.
well, that's unfortunate.
I hear what you said.
I was just going on about how I was talking to my friends, like, dude, how different regular season to playoffs is, and how the game style is different, and how the structure is different a little bit. And
Yeah,
my main thing was I was saying how this might be controversial, but I said how Florida is not going to be in the finals. I said they're not going to make the Stanley Cup Finals, and I said for reasons because their offense is very good. But I can show you teams with similar offense, but better defense and better goaltending. And I think that will prevail more in playoffs. I feel like I've said that a bunch of times here before, but that was my short version. I don't want to go on a rant about it because I know we have a couple other things to talk about. But yeah,
Well-
Kev understands.
Spider-Man goes, if that's true, Pat Maroon is better than McDavid. So
I mean, hey, Pat Maroon in terms of Stanley Cup playoff success is better than McDavid. But if you had to ask me
that's
skill
true.
one-on-one wise, obviously McDavid wins. But hey, Pat Maroon was on the Oilers. He said, "Screw this shit, I'm out." Goes to Tampa Bay Lightning. Oh no, goes to
Yeah.
St. Louis. Wins. He's like, "All right, that was fun, St. Louis. See you later. I'm going to Tampa." Wins. Stays in Tampa. Wins. Bro, this guy. This guy's triple. He has three-peated. He has three-peated. Pat Maroon is a three-peat Stanley Cup champion. Berta,
Guys-
congratulations on winning
Thank you.
the poll. Zach
Congrats.
Attack, how's it going? Welcome back to another podcast. Happy to
This
see
is
you
getting a
in
little
chat.
ridiculous, guys. I've won so many polls in a row now. I'm on a major win streak.
Hang on, I'm the
Oh.
first ever winner of the power play. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
I think I'm getting my game ready for the power play here on Wednesday. I might sweep the series.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know about that one. You won the power play where the reigning champ wasn't active. That's all I have to say.
all right, do we want to move to our last segment?
yeah.
Yeah,
let's do it.
well, we have two left, I think, right? We have favorite shell covers. Do we want to cover
Do you
that or
wanna-
now? Because I
I
mean,
think we might.
they're all
move-
the same.
We
right?
might wait. Are they?
For me,
Let's do a quick cover.
for me, NHL 16 and onward, I haven't really noticed much of a crazy difference for me. Like if you
I
had to
got-
jump from
yeah.
16 to 22, hell yeah, here's my money.
Mm.
16 to 17 to 18 to 19 to 20 to 21 to 22, it's like
The
here's
fact
my
that
money.
Matthews is on it twice.
They take my money,
Yeah,
but I'm
well,
like, it's like I
yeah.
give them my money, but like I'm still like gripping it, so like they have to like rip it out of my hands. That's how I feel about buying NHL 20 or NHL 22.
Have you guys ever seen my? I don't think you guys have. Maybe Ponch has seen it. I have a trailer I made once, long
Mhm.
time ago for NHL 20.
Oh
Mike has
yeah,
definitely not seen it. Have you seen it, Ponch?
I think I might have, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
I want to show it on stream, but I feel like people will want to watch the podcast or listen to the podcast won't understand it, won't hear it. So
If anything, we can show it after. We can show it after the podcast.
you know what? You know what? If you guys are listening to this on the podcast, tune in on Twitch next time on Wednesday or next Sunday.
Yeah, yo,
and
let's
you
do
will
the
see
intro
it.
video to our podcast on Wednesday.
Yeah, you
Let's
guys
do
will
that.
see it then. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it on Wednesday. That
Yeah.
sounds fun. I'm down with that.
And
But-
trust me, guys, it is so worth it. I promise you, it's gonna be worth it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm pumped for Wednesday now. Let's go.
Cheese was just backing me on this now.
It's a very well put together trailer, says Cheese Whiz. TTV near Zach Attack says they have every single NHL game on Xbox One. I've had every single NHL game since NHL 14. I had 12 and like 808, and I had a few other ones in between there. But for some reason, I never bought NHL 13. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see this though.
Yeah, you guys will
Alright.
like it.
All right.
I can say my favorite cover though, real quick. Mine. Can you guys guess it? It's very obvious.
Mark Snaslin.
Oh, that would have been a good one, but no, it's not it.
But you're a Vancouver fan. There haven't really been many cover athletes for Vancouver. I
Well,
feel
it's
like
'cause
I feel like it's one of the
It's
Matthews
nobody good
ones.
for Vancouver.
No.
It's Kessler.
Yep, that's Kessler.
Yeah.
I
It's
forgot he had a
really-
cover.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
think
god! Wasn't he the cover of the 2K game though? Like 2K?
It was the last 2K game ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro,
Went up
2K,
with bang.
come back, please contest them just a little bit. Like make one 2K game
Mhm.
just to put a little bit of doubt in EA's mind or someone.
Yeah.
You know what? Hey guys, blow this podcast up. We'll make an NHL game, low key. If we ever get enough
Well, I
money,
thought
we'll
it
just
was
make our own
funny-
studio, have an NHL
yeah,
game.
we could.
So
I'd be in
funny
charge
enough,
of
like,
franchise mode, and then you guys can handle the rest. Because I don't play any other part of the game, so.
So, funnily enough, the reason why I remember Marcus Naslin on NHL is because he's the first cover athlete to never score a point during a season.
Wait, what?
Mm,
So
Wait.
in
mm.
04-05 was the lockout season, so they put Naslin on. So Naslin's the first cover athlete to ever be selected without scoring a point.
Right, because it was the lockout, so no one scored a point. So oh, that's kind of cool though. That's kind of nice. The start of the curse. What curse? What curse did we start, guys?
I think that's
At
the
the
cup
NH
curse
is it?
or something, right?
Yeah.
What was it?
Something about the Stanley Cup. I think the team they don't win the
Oh.
cup, something like that.
Yeah, the cover athletes never won a cup
Mm.
after, right?
I don't think any of them have won a cup actually. Oh, actually, no, that makes no sense.
No, but like while being the
Yeah.
cover athlete, they'd never won a cup.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, but that's also odds though. I don't
Yeah.
think that'll.
Well, I mean, EA Sports sells Eric Carlson like a 90 when you start up the game, so until you edit it.
Because he's that good.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah, makes
leave his
sense.
puck skills there for me, but make his skating like a 3-star even. I don't care, 4-star even. Don't leave him at 90
His skating's
speed.
just
The guy
fine.
can't
Funny that
skate.
Ponch's favorite show is Cobra Kai, where all these guys are living in the past, and here Ponch is living in the past while Carlson.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
I love Carlson. I will stand by Eric Carlson.
Yeah.
Very much so a homer. I've never been shy about being a Flames and a Sharks homer. Like
Mhm.
Mhm.
Spiderman from Naruto says in chat, dang, just had a light bulb idea. I'm going to bring a gold medal team together or a really good junior international team together. So I'm assuming he's talking about franchise mode. He's going to bring back like a group of guys who had a lot of like success internationally and make them an NHL
that'd
team.
be so funny.
Let us know next podcast though.
Yeah,
what
let
it
us know
looks
how it
like.
goes.
Mhm.
When do you win the cup and who did you pick? Also, though, a bit of a word of warning. Is that how it goes? I don't know. A bit of warning. I think Berta can chime in on this. International success does not necessarily mean NHL success. Look at Louis Eriksson and the Sedin brothers. Was that
Okay.
successful? Maybe for part of a season, but after that, it was pretty rough. So
what was the, what
just
was
a
the
bit
point
of
this, Mike?
forewarning.
What
I'm
was-
just
like,
saying, a bit of
what-
forewarning for international play doesn't mean everything. Gold, I
I
mean,
mean-
Olympic hockey is different from NHL hockey. I'm just saying.
5 years of absolute pain.
I
Like-
just,
Are
hey,
we gonna sandbag
if it
this
makes you feel
series
better,
here?
we're looking pretty bad. So don't like the Habs have some pretty rough years ahead and have had rough years. So you're not
You know
alone.
what, man? Like after the first year when we got him, I was trying so hard to convince myself and everybody else that hey Nick, what's up, man? I was trying so hard to convince
Hey,
everybody.
Val.
Yeah, I was like looking at the stats for lyrics. I'm like, okay, look at every time he went to a new team, guys. The first year is bad, the second year is sick, and I was trying to sell the second year off so much. Like, don't worry, guys, 30 goals this year. It's coming, it's coming.
Mhm.
And no, it was
Never
4 more
came.
years after that. Yeah, it was just
And
absolute bullshit.
I think Louis Erickson. I don't know if Louis Erickson was necessarily the problem. I think they put him on a line with players who are too similar to his style. Like they needed someone who's different. Like they needed a guy like Burroughs. They needed a guy
I don't
who
know,
can.
man.
I feel like the
thing
Seguin
is-
brothers always needed that one guy who can kind of go in the corners and do that work for them, and be a
Like
pain in the
Milan
ass.
Lucic.
Dude, I agree to an extent, but he was 70 points. He scored 30 goals. Like his drop off is honestly unlike any drop off I've seen for any player. I've watched NHL for so long, and his drop off
Mhm.
is so significant that I cannot think of another player like that.
Well,
Like,
everyone from that draft class, everyone from that free agent class, like Kyle Okposo's drop off was pretty radical too. Like Kyle Okposo just slowed down a lot.
But
Andrew
his was more
Ladd.
progressively though, wasn't it? Like his was more like over time it definitely fell off. I
Yeah.
agree, right? And even Lucic as well, but like let me pull up
Lucic,
Eric's
Andrew
stats.
Ladd,
Lucic
David
has a ring.
Backes. Was that year? It was Lucic, Andrew Ladd, David Backes, Louis Erickson, Kyle Okposo. Were those the 5 that year? That all got
Yeah.
huge, like $6 million deals, and
Yeah.
not a single one of those deals to this day worked out that well. Like it's like Okposo's still getting paid. Although Okposo's had a good bounce back season this year compared to usual, but
Mm-hmm.
I like Lucic.
Owen Nolan.
I'm a fan.
Dad9 Sports coming out here saying Owen Nolan, San Jose, easy drop off. That's fair too.
But he was
Yeah.
older though. Like Erickson
Jeff
when
Skinner?
he came to Vancouver was
Jeff
I don't know how old he
Skinner.
was. Oh yeah,
I was
Jeff
going Air
Skinner.
Snags,
Air
but I mean
Snags.
Jeff Skinner, man. That's a good recommendation by Spider-Man. I like that one.
Yeah.
But then Jeff Skinner came back though. He came back for a year and then took a time off again. So I don't know what's up with Jeff Skinner. Like that was
He's playing
let's
well
look at
now.
Skinner's
He's
stats.
playing well right now.
He has
Like-
16 goals. He's doing very well. He's
Yeah.
like 1 year on, 1 year off. Jeff Skinner, man. You know
I
what?
mean,
though?
the coach
oldest
they had
years have
last
been
year
pretty
hated him. The coach he had last year
Yeah.
hated him. So that was the
Yeah.
other issue. Like he just refused to play him with Eichel or anybody.
good. Mm.
They're like, okay,
Dion
Skinner, you're on the
Phaneuf.
third line forever. So he looks good with Tage
Dion
Thompson.
Phaneuf had a hard he had a hard fall.
Yeah, as soon as he left Calgary, he kind of dropped off.
I don't
Yeah.
know what I just did, but I ended up in my view on your on your thing. What the heck? Anyway, hello Air Snacks. How are you, man?
Air Snacks is saying they enjoyed the All-Star game. It was really good. So, hey, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Honestly, like parts of it were very enjoyable, but I think overall the marketing from the NHL was pretty rough in there.
That's
their
a good
execution.
perspective actually, because Air Snags is actually from Melbourne, Australia, and he doesn't have access to NHL games a lot. So maybe for him and his perspective of it is a little bit different from ours, because we see NHL, we watch the games like it's on every single day, every single night, right? Snags
Yeah.
doesn't get the chance to watch Montreal. He's a Montreal fan and a Winnipeg Jets fan. Doesn't get a
Okay.
chance
Yeah,
to watch
say
the
la bouffe.
games. So maybe for someone from that perspective, like around, although like I don't know why that would be your market. You want to impress the people that are watching it the most as well,
Mhm.
right? But yeah, I
Mhm.
don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. Calvin DeHaan and Brett Connolly being the best, the Caps of the Hawks. I mean, that's kind of interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been rough for the NHL in terms of marketing in the last couple of years. They've had so many like negative sides of their game being brought out too. So I think that's also the other reason. It's like you see a lot of negative stories coming out of the NHL right now. So there's just like so much negativity around the game too. So it's hard
Mhm.
to find.
There is one thing that's
Positives.
negative that we did not talk about. I don't even know if we should talk about it.
The
because
Rocky
it's-
Wirtz thing.
Is that the owner?
Yeah,
The-
Chicago's
yeah,
owner.
yeah.
Do we want to
Yeah.
talk about that on stream?
It's just gonna take a long time.
Because
I
we can't
think.
show the
Wait.
clip. Eh? He copyrighted
we-
the clip.
Yeah, I don't think we can show it. But
He copyright claimed the clip because he knew it was bad.
overall, I think we could just agree it was just so stupid. Like, how can you go from a
Mhm.
bad look to even worse look? Like, literally down, like rock bottom to even more rock bottom. So
Chicago's
that's my
not looking
thoughts.
great this year.
yeah. That's just my. I think we all think
Mhm.
the same about that, though.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just sad. And I know his son, like Danny Wirtz, is also a big like he's up there like an executive for the Toronto Blackhawks, and he went up to the reporter Mark Lazarus afterwards and he said, "Hey, like if you want to ask me any questions, we can set up a time like we can meet. Like we've been doing a lot behind the scenes, like to improve our culture and stuff." So, he said, like, look, if you guys want to, like, if you want to set up a meeting with me, like, I'll answer any questions you have. So Mark Lazarus wrote a glowing review about Danny Wirtz, who's the owner's, so Rocky Wirtz's son, because Danny Wirtz has put in a lot of work to help the team move forward. And Danny Wirtz was the one he addressed the question to. And Danny Wirtz was the guy who initially went to answer it till his dad cut him off, said, no, I got this. Let me ruin our entire image we have been building up for the last couple months to try to improve from where we were and grow and help Kyle Beach and other victims move forward. No. Let me bring us back to a negative point of view. And that's exactly what Rocky Wirtz did. Everyone doesn't like him. And the only way now for Rocky Wirtz and the Toronto Blackhawks to move forward is if he resigns. He has to fire himself. He's the owner and chairman. No one's going to fire him. He has to fire himself. That's the only way people can move forward with this team and still cheer for this team. Like, tickets for the Chicago Blackhawks games cost less money than buying a beer. It was $8 for a ticket, $11 for a beer or something like that. Crazy.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
My cat just made the weirdest noise ever.
I heard it, actually.
You heard that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can you guys hear that?
I heard it the first time. I didn't hear it when
What
we
the
were silent
hell
there.
is going...
All right, now I'm here. Maybe you should check on your
Bro,
cat.
I'm going to check on my cat. 1 second, guys. You keep talking.
Yeah. Yeah, Iris Snags. There's a Team Canada jersey. This is from when they did the World Cup of Hockey in 2016, I think it was 2016. And actually, they're trying to do it again. So I hope they can do it as early as 2024. They said that would be super fun, Ponch. I think they got to keep doing it. And if they do it, it can't be a one-off like the 2016 one was, because otherwise they don't care about it as much. I believe, man.
I think so.
Yeah,
So, do you guys
Well,
want
I'm
to
a
get
big
the
World
update?
Hockey guy.
me too.
What's up?
My cat's upstairs, and it's just the neighbor's cat is in the window, so my cat's just like doing that weird. You know, the cats they do those weird noises to like defend like their property. That's all
right.
it is. But I think we're basically at our time for today, so we'll save the coaches challenge for Wednesday. Are you down with that, Paunchy?
We'll do it next
Sunday?
Sunday.
Oh, we
because
do
we have
next
power
Sunday.
play.
All right. I was asking for another hour. I don't know if we have another hour or not. I bit my tongue yesterday, so I've been really struggling to talk today. I was eating too much cookie dough yesterday and bit my tongue. But it's kind of embarrassing, but whatever. The point is I've been struggling to talk today, so we will have to call it, I think, here. But as always, stick around for those of you on Twitch. We do have our usual raid. We're going to raid someone. We'll do our best to raid someone who's always been supporting our podcast. So that's our goal. We always want to raid someone who supports the community. So that's our goal. If someone from the community is live, we will definitely raid them. But for those of you listening in on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, not Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or even Twitch VOD, you can find us live every Sunday and Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time on my channel, Some Lazy Guy 09, because I host it for us. If you want to look at Berdaman and Ponchi on Twitch, you can do so as well. They also go live whenever they can as well. So Berdaman is just Berdaman, as I said it, BERDAMAN. I think I got that. And then
Perfect.
Ponchi is Ponch, PONCH_YYC.
Yeah.
Nice. Nailed it. But yeah, you can find us on those platforms under the Fan Connection podcast. So we appreciate all the support. Let us know any comments you might have. Reach us out on Twitter, on YouTube, wherever you can reach us. And we'll see you in the next one. All right? Peace.